I'm not judging, it's just, it's a fact. You can go on Wikipedia. I edited the page this morning. You can edit Wikipedia. I made the Blazers the champions last year on Wikipedia. You can edit Wikipedia. I'm so high, I'm noticing things about myself, just making myself self-conscious. Like, this hat is one size fits all right, but I'm on the last motherfucking snap on my hat right now. And according to the standards of whoever in Vietnam made this hat, I got the biggest head in the world, like, right now. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I do have one size fits all hats that don't fit on my head, and I'm just like, I don't fit in the all demographic. Like, how do you advertise to this? Like, fucking Glade plugins don't care to advertise to me on Facebook. I get weird shit popping up. Like, you should see what Wish wants me to buy. Shit. And speaking of hats, this guy's hat's like, I don't know, you got like all your achievements in marijuana like that you have lived. Like, this is when I won Best Sativa 2004. This is when my best dab contraption 2014. And this is like the marijuana knowledge table. I could just tell you got a study light, like you got contraptions, you're researching documents that were written on hemp paper. This is... I got a vape pen because I like to get high at work and not smell like weed and get fired. That's what people like throwing their vape pens in the air. Oh man, like I'm like the lone white guy there, pretty much surrounded by like, not necessarily Mexicans, like most of them are Mexicans, but if you call some of them Mexican, they'll get mad at you because they're from another country that doesn't like being called Mexican. But yeah, it's my first day there, and one of them's like, man, you must have made some wrong turns in life, huh? And I'm just like, shit. We had another white guy there whose aunt worked in the office and got him a job, and he had just done 15 years for murder, and I'm feeling good morale about my job, and I'm like 2 weeks into it, murder guy's like, yeah, man, I'm trying to find a better job. And I'm just like, really? This job ain't good enough for a guy who just got out of murder. Like, really, you should accept anything. Like, you just got out, like, really. Like, you don't have a lot of options. Like, I wouldn't want to work at Mickey D's next to a motherfucker that got out of murder just now. There's, like, burning grease and shit, and you don't want to be next to burning grease with murderers and shit. Hey, I lived in the Ozarks off the grid for 2 years, and I know like people think, ooh, he's rugged and badass. No, I just looked at what my budget said, and my budget says you can afford land for $200 a month. Okay, I'm gonna live there. And man, that place was pretty cool, man. Like, we had a lot of doomsday prepper types out there. Like, I met this guy at a flea market who weighed like 400 and something pounds, and he smelled like doo-doo, and I'm assuming because he couldn't reach. But he was telling me, I live on 267 acres, and I consider myself somewhat of a doomsday prepper. And I'm looking at his physique because he's walking, and he had a gun on his holster that would waddle with him. Like, he wouldn't shake, and then his gun holster would shake. Like, just, and then, and I'm just thinking, like, it's called Doomsday, man. What if you gotta run on Doomsday, though? Like, you're 400, like, don't you think you need a certain amount of physical fitness for Doomsday? Like, I'm not judging, like, I'm just a concerned person because you got 260-something acres, but property rights don't matter on Doomsday. Like, oh, that's Jeff's property. No one gives a fuck about Jeff on Doomsday. Like Jeff, and he's got food, we're gonna kill Jeff and eat his food. Like, that's just how it goes. And the way people view guns there compared to here, man, that was a trip to me, because I worked at a farmer's feed store when I was there, and this old farmer lady came in one day, and it just started pouring down rain right when she was in the parking lot, and she comes in and she's like, oh shit, my gun's about to get wet. And she pulled out this long-ass revolver out of her purse and dumped out all the bullets on my counter and started wiping down her gun with a handkerchief and put it on her side. And I just looked at her, I'm like, that's the most comfortable I've ever felt, having a gun pulled on me behind a cash register before. Like, if this was in the city, I wouldn't expect them to pay, but like, these motherfuckers pay and shit when they pull a gun on you. Like, that's some different shit, that's all I'm saying. And Some people, they're just too redneck to argue with, though. Like, I had a neighbor who was just too redneck to argue with. Like, he had to get water delivered into, like, 1,500-gallon tanks and whatever. Like, every few months he'd get his water delivered. And he was like, yeah, you could get them from that guy in the red barn, but he says you got to put it in the shade or inside because, and then I cut him off. I'm like, yeah, because they'll get algae. And he corrected me. He was like, no, you got to put them in the shade or you got to put them inside because they turn green. And I wanted to say that's algae, motherfucker, but you just can't explain shit to people, so I don't even try to explain shit to people when you can't explain shit to people, so you just can't explain shit to people. So I'm trying to explain it to you and I'm just rambling, so. But yeah, man, I only smoke weed now. I quit drinking as of 30-something days ago. It's not because of any good accomplishment. No, it's just because I have to, because I end up drinking on 65th and Foster and waking up in jail in Vancouver, Washington. That's how fucked up I get. I wake up and I see Clark County inmate on the back of someone's shirt, and I had to clarify, this is Washington, right? Like, I only went one state over because I've been fucked up before, and I end up like, just, I know. It was a dude, where's my car situation, but I'm not gonna say nothing. I got an attorney to speak for me, so we'll see how that goes. But I only smoke weed now because I can't drink for shit, and that's just how it's gonna be. And that's my friend who got me my job right there, and when I'm trying to get a public defender, I got a real attorney, but they were like, what's your job? And I'm like, a driver? I don't know, when you get in a DUI and you got a driver job, that's kind of fucked up. But I had to tell him, I'm like, don't ever give me 2 days off in a row, dude. That's not a recipe for success, giving me 2 days off in a row. You give me like a half day after a day off, and then give me a day off, and then give me a full day. But you don't give me 2 days off. You need to break it up incrementally, because I do stupid shit when I have time to myself, and that's just what happens, and I'm rambling about that too anyway. I saw something in the news where this person put peanut butter in a syringe and they put it in their arm and they committed suicide with peanut butter and they were dead in a jiffy. Y'all are morbid for laughing at that peanut butter shit, man. Peanut butter's delicious and it has a lot of protein, and I know people are allergic to it and shit, and I bet if I pull a peanut butter sandwich out right now, at least 2 motherfuckers in this room will fall over. I'm just... Oh man, I just recently got back into dating. I've been single for 3 months, back in Portland for 3 months, so I got back into dating, and I don't like answering questions with people I just met, man. It gets awkward. They're like, why are you shaking? Are you nervous? And I'm like, no, I'm on boner pills that I got from the gas station. I don't like that prescription stuff, man. You taking Extends with a Kratom, man? Like, I've never even taken Kratom. I just been on Reddit before and I read about people, man, you taking Extends and you taking Kratom. I should edit that shit on Wikipedia, man. The Blazers won the championship because they took Extends and they took Kratom. You know, Extends is actually banned by the NFL in the Olympics, and they brag about it on their website. It's such a performance enhancer that you can't use it in the NFL. Like, man, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just a fact I wanted to throw out there because it's interesting to me. Anyway, I got a sister with 7 kids, and I don't want to go to the delivery room anymore because my family, they're not honest with her when she's having a kid, you know, while we're in there. They're like, oh my goodness, he's so cute. No, he's not cute. He looks like he just came out of Leslie's vagina after being inside of Leslie for 9 months. And you can't expect anybody to be cute after being inside somebody's body where it's 98.6 and hot and humid all the time and just wet. And like, I can't do 20 minutes in the tub without getting wrinkly, and you expect little kid to be cool like after... You need a couple months to air off and get acclimated to the climate of Earth, man, because people grow weed in here. Like, transplanting is the biggest shock that a plant can go through in the whole process, and just don't expect cuteness on day one, man. Give it time. They'll get to that point, but there are exceptions. The people who have babies in here, they're all cute and all, but day one, and like their eyes were alert, and you could tell that they're going to have a high IQ. But these other ones was like, ooh, like it's like their DOS is setting up and shit, and like they're on Windows 92 and shit. And as you know, I don't have a point on anything about life whatsoever. I come from a bad neighborhood where the Planned Parenthood went out of business and became a daycare center, so that's why I'm fucked up. That really happened, so like you can see where I'm coming from. My mom used to spank me with a wooden spoon sometimes. Like, I'm not like trying to like act like I got my ass whooped, because I missed out on way more ass whoopings than I ever inherited. Like, I'm due several, like, still. Like, if somebody punched me on stage right now, I wouldn't even be mad. I'm like, that's karma, I'm sure, but she beat me with the wooden spoon, but she had the Buns of Steel Betamax tapes where all it was on the front cover was a picture of an ass just flexing in like old 80s spandex with crazy colors and shit, and like somebody that looked like Boomer on the front just like, ah. And then my mom spanked me with a wooden spoon, and then it broke. And then I was like, yeah, that's right, I got Buns of Steel, mama. And then she went and got a steel spoon and decided to fight steel with steel. It was a big kind of spoon. They got a name for it. It's called a shovel. And it buried me alive and spanked me with me at the same time. I don't know. We had strange discipline methods. Like my grandpa, like, if I pissed him off, he just let all my cousins get in the line and kick me in the butt one by one. And I'd have my cousin get back in line and try to kick me again like he wasn't in line before. It's like, no, Tim, you weren't in line. You already kicked me in the butt. This isn't fair. That dog told me to get the fuck off stage, man. Oh, man. Anyway. I got my boss here, and he didn't know he had to pay $20. So I told him if he came up and did 5 minutes, I'll give him his $20 back. So here, first time doing comedy ever, but he is an ally of the marijuana. Please put your hands together for John Oliver. Put your hands together. I'm trying to keep my job here. She's got